So I wanted to come back on here and give a reaction to the last video that I did concerning black jobs. So this is part 2 in my reaction. Mass immigration has always affected the black Americans in this nation disproportionately. Even back in the 1900s, you had people like Booker T. Washington, you had W.E.B. Du Bois, you had Mary McLeod Bethune, you had Marcus Garvey, as well as Coretta Scott King, and also Barbara Jordan. They were all against mass immigration because they saw the effects that it had in the black communities. Mass immigration has always been a detriment because it took the industries away that we once owned ourselves, such as construction, such as steelworking, such as home building, janitorial work, or maid services that you would want to call that. It always took away those jobs, which are black jobs. So just think, if we was able to continue to work these jobs without having so much mass immigration, what kind of industries would we own today as black Americans? We will be dominating the construction industry by now. We'll be dominating home building industries by now. I know that once education was injected and that we all had to go and get an education, it's nothing wrong with being a professional of today, but also everybody is not afforded to be able to go to school and get an education, which is also why I like the idea when you read in Agenda 47, one of Trump's policies is putting trade school education into high school so that you have a choice whether you want to go to college or whether you want to go and learn trades. That's also can be paying upwards of six-figure jobs. But today what we are having an issue with is illegal immigration. As in my last video that I did with the Center of Immigration Studies, she did bring us some key points that I wanted to have a reaction to. She brought up one point where it talked about the resources that was being given to the illegal immigrants just for crossing the border versus the black Americans that has already been living in these communities for years. She also brought up the point where a lot of these people that are crossing the border are militant-aged male that are coming through the border. And then they are settling in these communities. A lot of them are from gangs from different countries, especially I know people are hearing about the Venezuelans that are coming into these communities and taking over the apartments. But these are militant-aged men. And if you really think about it, get off your high horse right now. I'm talking to the elite Democrats. Everybody doesn't have an education. So get off your high horse and you have to think about who are in these black communities. A lot of the people that are in these black communities are single mothers. She also touched on with the 94 crime bill that Biden did, which took out a lot of our black men out of the home. And then so you have elderly people that's living in these communities, and you have a lot of single mothers that's living in these communities. They're raising sons. So the other concern that she also brought up was that they were concerned that these Venezuelan gangs are recruiting our black young men into their gangs. And then unfortunately it could spark some sort of a black and brown war within these communities because they are going from apartment to apartment and taking over. But the thing about it is, and they're using the squatter laws to do this, and you have to ask yourself, who gave them the squatter laws? How do they even know about this law as soon as they came to this country? Was it the Biden-Harris administration? I'm just saying allegedly. But you have to concern yourself about when these people are crossing the border illegally. And the next administration, if Kamala wins the presidency, is just going to get worse. So far, it's been about 10 to about 12 million. And so I believe that is way more than that have crossed over the border. And they're not trying to send them back home or anything or deporting them. They want to give them a pathway to citizenship. They want to give them amnesty. The other thing is that they also want to fund education. So if you think just because you are offended because he was talking about black jobs, which are low skilled jobs that he was referring to, that they're not coming after your middle class or professional job, well, just wait till they get free education. So once they get free education, they're going to come after your black elite job very soon. So I think that you really should consider the term and what Trump actually meant. He was actually giving us a warning of what was to come. And I just hope that you see through what Kamala Harris and her Vice President Tim Walz is trying to do. The policies that she has is very detriment to the black Americans and the black people of this country, and also Hispanic Americans as well. You have a lot of Hispanic Americans that have came here and they've waited 10 years or more to become citizens. And they had to pay a lot of money. They had to learn a lot of American history and the material just for them to just have and open up the border for illegal immigrants to come in and pretty much displace them as well. So I don't understand how we're not understanding and how we are offended by Trump telling the truth. You know, he said the silent part out loud, and then you want to be offended by this. So if anything, I just wanted to bring you this. I will go into some different numbers. I have a lot of different subjects to talk about with my opinion, and I just want to bring facts to you. You can look up all of this information for yourself. And I will leave you with this. Please pray and open your eyes before you vote for your demise. Thank you.